Today we are going to meet the 2021 Scholar recipients from Oak Park River Forest High School. And we're so excited to meet these 5 young women. While everyone starts popping in as attendees, I just want to tell you a couple things. This program is about an hour long, and you're going to hear from various people on the scholarship committee in our organization and the scholars themselves, of course. You'll hear from the 19th century board president, Al Parcham. And then we're also going to have an opportunity to take questions or comments from the attendees. So during the program, if something strikes your fancy, you want to ask a question or make a comment, you can do that either in our chat section or in our Q&A. And then what we like to do here is we do like to unmute you in the attendees so you can ask your question yourself. So usually I say your name and then I unmute you and you can ask the question yourself. So if you are wondering where I'm sitting, I am in the 19th century member lounge and I'm sitting on one of our beautiful blue couches. And this is where normally our program would have taken place on a Monday afternoon. So I am going to, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Janet Barkley. Janet is our chair of our scholarship committee, and she does a wonderful job with all of our students and processing all of the applications every year. So Janet, we're going to let you take over and have a great time, everybody.
Thank you, Erin. You know, we could not do this program without you, and that's for sure. And thank you for everyone for watching. I can't tell you how excited we are to be here with you after all the time that has passed since the pandemic hit and caused us to cancel our May luncheon to celebrate our 5 new scholarship recipients. So we've hung in there and finally come up with a way to do it, thanks to Erin. The scholarship committee, 11 strong, is very happy that you have joined us. We have 17 scholarship recipients in the pipeline at this time, each receiving $2,000 per school year throughout their college career, as long as they maintain their grades and meet our standards. That means that annually, scholarship works very hard to raise $34,000 to meet our obligations to our students. The committee and the whole club membership, for that fact, take that commitment very seriously. If you can join our efforts by making a donation, our gratitude will truly be immeasurable. I genuinely believe that after you meet a number of our students today, you will be ready to donate because you will have come to understand our devotion to the scholarship program and its students. These young people so often delight us with their intelligence, their perseverance, their thoughtfulness, their talents, and their maturity. To donate to the scholarship program after this presentation is over, please go to our website, www.19thcentury.org. So 19th century, all one word, lowercase. I've been thinking about all of our kids, and a dozen of our older scholarship students are learning to cope with the chaos that's enveloping us. They are the country's future. Chandler and Sincere will be the medical people on the front lines. Kayla will be the lawyer fighting for racial justice. Caroline will be the molecular biologist, and Anastasia, the aerospace engineer. They, along with Sam, the geologist, and our other Kayla, the biological chemist, will change and help save our physical world. Artist Nick and actress Alyssa will help bring humanity back to us. Lauren will certainly shake up the financial world. And Taylor just might likely be the leader of the free world. Theo, in my guess, will be an Ivy League professor who appears on Face the Nation. 17 students will touch our souls and will make us proud that we touched their lives, because they will for sure pay it forward. Today's program is to salute all of our outstanding students, past and present, as well as to introduce you to our 5 new scholarship recipients. They are 5 impressive young women who had amazing high school careers, which got them here today, and who are prepared to bring the same hard work and tenacity to college. In addition to meeting this fabulous 5, you will also hear from 6 of our upperclassmen as they offer up advice to these 5 college freshmen. So let's get started.
Hi 2020 19th Century Scholars, my name is Theo Trapanitis and I am a 2019 OPRF graduate, a member of the Dartmouth College class of 2023, and one of last year's scholarship recipients. First off, I just wanted to say congratulations for graduating from OPRF and being chosen for this scholarship. After just finishing up my first year of college, I have a few thoughts I would like to share with you. First, I encourage you to really think about what clubs, activities, sports, whatever, that you are truly passionate about and which you are not. Well, you may have more free time in college. In my experience, time fills up really quickly with obligations. It can be difficult to give up something that you've done for a long time, but make sure that you have room in your schedule for new passions. On that note, I would also encourage you to look for a space that has an established community, whether that be a team, a cappella group, hacking club, whatever. In my experience, it's super easy to make friends if you have consistent time that you spend with a group of people every week. Again, congratulations on graduating and good luck in college.
Hello, my name is Joan Lenny, and I am very delighted to introduce to you today Maddie Blake. She's one of our 5 newly selected scholarship recipients. At the age of 4, instead of asking for a doll for Christmas, Maddie asked for a stethoscope. Needless to say, she will be studying nursing at Illinois State University, planning on specializing in neonatal intensive care pediatric nursing. Her dean describes her as compassionate, mature, and confident, while Maddie describes herself as attentive, dedicated, and open. While in high school, she studied for and passed the CNA exam and is now a certified nursing assistant. While achieving Dean's List for 4 years, she was active in orchestra, color guard, Black Leaders Union, and synchronized swimming. She was selected to be a mentor for the freshmen in the Leadership Launch program, where she excelled as a role model. I now present to you Maddie Blake. Welcome. We're glad that you're here today with us. My first question for you is, how did you get interested in nursing?
So I've always been interested in medicine. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with medicine, but it's always been like what I was going to do. So I kind of went from, I think I wanted to be a surgeon at one point, like a pediatric neurosurgeon. And then I wanted to be a doctor, and then a physician assistant. And then after a lot of research, I kind of settled on nursing because there's so many things I can do. Like I want to travel to other countries and kind of do missionary nursing and a lot of volunteer work. And so nursing just fits with my lifestyle a lot. So, yeah.
And is your mom a physician's assistant?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, so it's kind of in your blood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job. My second question is, describe your role as a freshman, going back to high school days, and how you mentored them.
Yeah, so I was in the leadership program, and so on Monday and Tuesdays, we would be in the classroom with our teacher, and we would be learning about leadership, We were reading a book called The Culture Code, and so it was kind of all about leadership. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we would be in a freshman study hall. And so we would help them with their homework, help them navigate the school if they had any questions. And then on Fridays, we would play games. So, or like, I don't know, have like a cookie decorating party or something. So it was a really good way to kind of have the freshmen have a peer that they could go to, and if they weren't comfortable talking with a teacher or something, they always had us there. And then if they had questions, you know, like where do I go if my computer is broken, or who do I talk to if there's a problem with my friend group or something. So we were kind of there for them. And if they just had other questions like, should I take this class or this class, things like that. So we really got to help them navigate high school and kind of plan out their 4 years, which was really helpful for me. So I knew that them planning out their 4 years was really important. So.
Well, it sounds like it not only benefited them, but it benefited you too.
Oh yeah. I learned a lot about leadership and patience and yeah, a lot of different situations we were put in. So
very nice. And the third one is kind of an umbrella that is your family, that you're going to be leaving them to go to school, but how important is your family to you?
Oh, my family is my everything. So I have 3 other siblings. So my oldest brother is 36, and then I have a 27-year-old sister, and my brother's 13. So we're all real spread out. And
wow.
I think that's for the best because we would have fought a lot. But now they help me navigate my parents, or they give me advice. I can learn from their mistakes, and they're just always there if I need someone to talk to, because they know what's going on in my life. So I don't really have to know if they're truly understanding what I'm saying. Like with my dad, he has heart failure, and so they were the only people that really understood what I was going through, kind of. So they were just always there to kind of encourage me, and especially now with me going into college, they're always talking to me about how, like, I don't know, friends and what I should have in my dorm room or something. Yeah, so, and then my parents are just the best. So they're always with me at my events and everything. So I know leaving them is going to be tough, but then we have FaceTime and Zoom and everything. So I know I'll still have them there with me.
Well, and you know, when you come home, they welcome you like you're the most wonderful visitor ever, and they'll cook all your favorite meals. So there'll be many homecomings too.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I'm excited.
Well, I wish you so much luck, but you don't need luck. You're just going to do a wonderful job, and
thank you.
And it will be a joy for me to keep track of you.
Thank
you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Chandler. I'm a sophomore at Tulane studying public health and Spanish on the pre-med track. My fondest memory from my freshman year was meeting my core group of friends. I went into Tulane with 3 other people from my graduating class, so who I knew fairly well, but you know, I wasn't rooming with any of them and nothing like that. So I kind of went into Tulane not knowing anyone. So finding the people who I feel like are my lifelong friends, who are people that like I just really care about and love, and I know they feel the same about me. I like that. It was the best part of my freshman year. And I think that also comes with putting yourself out there, stepping out of your comfort zone, greeting people, saying hi to people, sitting next to people and talking to them in your classes, or just introducing yourself. You know, it really goes a long way, and it helps it helps like your college just feel that much smaller. No matter where you go, the more people you know, the more familiar faces you see. It's just great. So definitely branch out and don't be shy.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy Gillis, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Jenny Bull, a remarkable young woman who has already accumulated a wealth of retail experience. Jenny is headed to the Whitman Business School of Syracuse University, where she plans an ambitious double major in marketing and retail. Describing herself as outgoing, understanding, and driven, Jenny consistently pushes herself to take risks and move out of her comfort zone. Reaching out, she has enhanced her understanding of a rich variety of individuals and causes. From sophomore year on, Jenny's participation in a highly competitive junior buying program has been pivotal to her intellectual and social development. She has discovered her talents and passion, and she has grown into a strong, determined individual. Her boss explains that Jenny's creativity is exceptionally robust. She is able to think outside of the box and derive potential solutions to problems very swiftly. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Kathy.
Oh, there she is. Okay, good to see you, Jenny. And I know everyone wants to hear about your position as a junior buying assistant and how it has influenced you in so many different ways.
Yeah, so I've actually been working under my boss, kind of her mentoring me for the past 3 years now. And it's been really interesting to work for a small business because I'm able to do all the different aspects that I would never be given the opportunity to do otherwise. So I can do like importing products, sales, merchandising the windows, working really exclusively with clienteling and buying. So I've learned a lot more than I would have learned anything else throughout these past 3 years. So it's been really incredible.
That's wonderful. Can you tell us the company that you work for and what you've done there?
Yes. So I work for Sugar Cup Trading. It's a children's clothing store on Marion Street, and it's also the sister store to 16 Suitcases, which is a women's clothing store on Marion Street. So you kind of learn how to work both with children's clothing and women's clothing. So you kind of get both aspects, almost working at 2 stores. Through my time there, I've done major projects working on our donation and give back page. So basically, I've personally created a form for people to donate and for us to be able to give back to our community. So it outlines our mission and then has like a link that people can sign up for an interview for us to potentially donate to them.
Well, that's great. And that relates to my next question, because much of your service to the community has been of a very highly sophisticated nature. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I hear you, Kathy.
Okay, you are. Tell us about your school and business-related involvement in philanthropy.
Yeah, I think like most OPRF students, I kind of started dipping my toes into philanthropy through Tau Gamma, which is a service club. But from then on, I joined Future Philanthropist Program, which is a program, a 2-year program. The first year you decide who to give a grant to by doing site visits of certain organizations like Hepzibah or the Food Pantry or Yemba, local organizations like that. And then as a senior, you fundraise money to donate. So as a junior, we donated $25,000 to different organizations. And as a senior, we were fundraising more to further build our endowment, which has been super awesome. And you've learned so much about the business side of philanthropy and like all the different levels of philanthropy. In school, I'm the president of business club, well, previous president of business club. And through that, we did a t-shirt sales that directly benefited Sarah's Inn and Set the Expectation. We were super inspired by the Set the Expectation movement, and we made t-shirts and donated all the proceeds to that. We ended up giving $500 to Sarah's Inn and $150 to Set the Expectation.
Well, that is great. I'm just so impressed with the amount of money that you've raised. Also, with your business club, you have participated in DECA. I don't think a lot of people know about this competition, but it's internationally renowned. Will you describe a little bit about it?
Sure. DECA is basically a business competition where people from all across the states and even different states when we go to finals come together and you do a role play and a written exam. So for the first year that I did DECA, I did hospitality and tourism, and it was basically like you were in front of a judge and had to be given a situation and then respond to it and fully present your position. So I did that, and then the written econ exam. I ended up placing first place in hospitality and tourism as a junior, and then senior year I did retail management, and I was a finalist as well. So it's been super awesome experience for me. It's given me so much confidence in like my real world business experiences outside of Oak Park and River Forest. So it's been super powerful to me and like given me a lot of confidence in my abilities.
Well, I'm going to be really excited to be following you and seeing what areas of business you explore next. We look forward to working with you for 4 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Kayla, and I'm a rising junior at Grinnell College, and I'm going to talk to you guys about some studying tips. And okay, so the first thing is that when I went to college, a lot of people would tell me to visit office hours and get really close with the professor, and I think that was honestly great advice because I found that super helpful at my time at Grinnell, especially because I'm a biochemistry major, so a lot of my homework is like problem sets and stuff like that. So I honestly recommend going to office hours and just trying to talk to the professor as much as possible. And I know that it can be awkward sometimes, so if it is like a little awkward to talk to the professor or go up after class, I definitely recommend doing it with friends. And then another thing I recommend about studying is to find a study group, because I think friends are really important in college because they help you stay accountable for all of your work. And then another piece of advice I have to offer is to find good studying places. So for example, at college, I like to differentiate my studying places. So when I want to study with friends, I'll go to the grill or something. When I want to study alone, I'll go to the library. Yeah, okay, well, congrats on the scholarship.
I'm Ruth Foley, member of the Scholarship Committee. I'm here to introduce Sarah Pildich. Sarah was active at OPRF in marching band and badminton, in addition to being a brilliant scholar. She actively volunteers in the community. She's going to attend the University of Minnesota, majoring in nursing. So let's welcome Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, wonderful today. It's a beautiful day. Way back in March, if you can remember back that long, you described yourself as friendly and forgiving and determined. Tell us what makes you describe yourself as being determined.
Yeah, so being determined is always kind of something that I've described myself as, because like growing up, I always had this like stamina. So like every project that I started, I could not like move on to something else until I finished it, whether it was like a painting or a drawing or like helping someone out or just something like that. And I have always had this like stamina that's gotten me through every situation in my life, no matter how like frustrating it can be. So like, for example, I took this research class this year called Investigative Design, Research, and Innovation, or ERDI for short. And that was definitely the hardest class I've ever taken. And basically it was like you design your own experiment, and I used zebrafish, which maybe wasn't the greatest choice because they don't live very well. So, you know, they kept like dying on me even though I was doing everything right. That definitely set me back in my like research that I was supposed to be doing. But even with that, I just kept going with it, and I tried to think of different solutions along the way. And I think that's just a trait that really describes me well, because I really don't let anything stop me, even if it gets really difficult. So yeah.
Yeah. You're planning on majoring in nursing and studying nursing. How will you use your nursing in the future?
Yeah, so for a little background, my family, I have a lot of like people in the medical fields in my family. I have a couple nurses, my dad's a doctor. So definitely like those were influences that led me to think about pursuing nursing. Also, I like shadowed a bunch last summer, and from there I decided that I would like to go into like pediatric nursing, specifically in like an intensive care unit. And obviously that may change as I go into nursing in college, but that's what I'd like to do. Because through those like experiences, hearing stories from my family, shadowing, all that kind of stuff, I just really learned that like there are just a lot of kids that need help. And I have always been like a person that really like wants to help other people. And that's why like I volunteer a lot and, you know, go on missions trips and stuff like that. And so I really just want to be able to help people and go out into the world and just, you know, like Maddie said, I think a couple people ago, she would like to go and like volunteer places. I'd also like to do that and just like really help these kids grow and heal. And even though I'm sure that will definitely be hard sometimes to see these kids in pain, that's something that I would really like to do.
It's a wonderful, very needed profession too. Okay, you told me that you like to bake. What is it about baking that you enjoy so much?
Yeah, so baking has always been like a part of my life. Like when I was little, obviously like most kids, I like made cookies and brownies and stuff like that. But like in the past couple of years, especially like in high school, I definitely started baking more because it's kind of a way for me to like cope with some like stress and anxiety in my life. And I'm a pretty like anxious person, so definitely baking has helped me because it's like it kind of reminds me of parts of my personality, like organized and like structured, and I like having that when I need to be able to cope with some of my like more negative emotions like stress and just being overwhelmed and stuff like that. So baking has almost helped me like it's almost been like a comforter kind of in my life. And so, you know, I started baking a lot more like complicated things and just it's just been something that I've always loved to do. So yeah.
Great, great. I like it too myself. Okay, you also told me that you love the trips and the traveling that your family has done. What has traveling taught you?
Yeah, so growing up, my family traveled everywhere. I've probably been to like 35 or 40 states by now. We just road tripped all the time because my mom didn't really like flying and my dad loved camping. So that was kind of like a combination of those two. So we just drove all over and we camped so many places. And like when I was growing up, I didn't really like it that much. I would have much rather like gone on a plane and stayed in a hotel. But I feel like now it's definitely taught me that like I really need to take advantage of every like opportunity that I have, because like I'm so glad that my parents decided to take us on all those trips, just because it's just taught me a lot about myself too. Like, you know, we would go hiking a lot and stuff like that on those trips, and you know, I'm not always the most like athletic person, so like it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I've definitely grown to enjoy it a lot. And I think just it's taught me that I need to be thankful for all the things that I have in my life and all the things that like my family has taught me through those experiences. So yeah.
Well, we will all keep in touch with you while you experience the colder winters in Minnesota, and we wish you the best of luck. So thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Hello to the 19th Century Association, the newest inductees, and any friends and or family of those that might be present. My name is Nick Drain. I am a graduating student of OPRF of 2016 and a recent graduate of the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design with a degree in generalized fine art and a minor in communication design. As I think back on my 4 years, if there's any bit of kind of advice or small wisdom that I could impart to you as you enter, it boils down to three main things. The first being to, over the next 4 years especially, really work to actively pursue growth and not just grow passively. The second would be to seek first to listen and then to speak. And the last would be to recognize your power as a student. You're going to be attending institutions, and it's very important to recognize the power that you have.
Hello, I am Brian Flora from the Scholarship Committee, and it is my privilege to introduce Kai Yoko, one of our 5 2020 scholarship recipients. First, I would like to emphasize that Kai is a scholar with a brilliant academic record. She's a straight A student and a member of OPRF's Cum Laude Society. In September, God willing, she will head off to Cornell University for an engineering major in material science engineering. She hopes to create new materials that will improve our daily lives. But Kai is so much more than just a scholar. She loves to tutor and mentor other students. She has been fascinated by the practical, not just academic challenges of scientific endeavor. And she loves music and plays a mean clarinet. She was a member of various music groups at OPRF and for 2 years headed up the clarinet section of the high school marching band. In her senior year, she was selected to be a drum major for the whole band, responsible for managing 150 fellow students in complicated performances on the field. Let's welcome Kai Yoko.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Kai. I can't see you. People say they can see me. So anyway, let's have this interview. I'll do it blindly. First question, Kai. Why did you get so deeply involved in the marching band? And what did you learn about yourself as a leader?
Well, both my brothers did marching band, so it was almost family tradition that I would do it. But I also wanted to do it because I met amazing people and I've had great memories doing it through leadership as well. So I was section leader for 2 years, and that was my first dip into leadership. So it was weird to say things and have people have to listen to me. So it was an interesting experience. But my last year, being a drum major was a whole different level. We attended the SWC clinics, which is one of the oldest and best drum major clinics across the country. And we learned a lot about discipline and leadership there. One of the things we did was every day we'd stand in front of 90 other drum majors and we have to individually alone yell commands. So there's the pressure to get it right. But we also learned about what leadership is. So leadership is about being able to create an impact on other people, but also growing yourself, which I didn't know. So they talked about how taking on such a leadership role, such as being a drum major, requires that you yourself know that you're going to change completely. And I thought that was incredibly interesting. And I took that to my drum major position the next year. And I'm very thankful for what marching band has given me and the leadership it has given me, because it's allowed me to gain so much confidence and grow as an individual. So yeah.
Oh, so we have you, Kai, as a scholar, a talented clarinetist, and the leader of the marching band. What else? I would also describe you, Kai, as somewhat of a science geek. Not badly, but a science geek. Not just as an academic subject for you, but as an exercise in creative expression. For fun, you told us that you participated in a program at Fermilab called Saturday Morning Physics. You led the school's chemistry club and you were active in the science Olympiad activities. So Kai, what pulled you into the world of science and engineering?
Yeah, so I always did robotics. I did robotics in middle school, and I took that into the clubs I did, like chemistry club and science Olympiad, and being an IT tech person for robotics mentoring. And I did a bunch of engineering camps, and I did a physics program last year at Northwestern that propelled me into engineering and math and science and all those things. But I have to admit, no matter about how many clubs I do, it doesn't replicate into the actual work field. So my involvement in Fermilab was actually amazing because I got to go out in the field for 2 hours. We were lectured by professors and we learned about things like quantum physics and how to break protons into neutrinos and all those things. But every week for an hour, we would tour the facilities with a different person. So tour a different part of the facility with like a different major. And there I met material science engineers, which is what I want to major in. I met astrophysicists, I met workers who built these amazing machines that they did. And it was an awesome experience because I got to see all these majors work together, all these people work together to create amazing things. One of the pictures we have is me and my friend Emma. We're at the D0 project, which they use to centralize on neutrinos. And what's amazing about that is that you'd think that this project was 40 years ago, but it was practically yesterday, yet they're already working on the next project. So what I love about engineering is it's once you finish something, you're never done, right? They worked on this project, but then they're immediately on to what's next, what's better, and they're always striving for better. So that's what I love about engineering. So I'm very excited to pursue that in college and to see where it takes me. So yeah.
Well, good luck with that. One last question, Kai. You really seem to enjoy mentoring and tutoring. I mean, middle school robotics team, the music students from less privileged backgrounds, and students in math and science through the Learning League. What personally motivated you to get involved with others in this way, and what have you gotten back from the experience?
Yeah, so if you had asked me freshman year, I would have been like, I can't believe you're doing this much tutoring, and I wouldn't have expected it at all. But I've learned a lot with tutoring because I didn't expect myself to do 3 programs, but I learned a lot in each one. Through my PING program, I've had a student for 2 years, and at first I thought it was about teaching them all this music stuff and all these scales, but after 2 years I can tell you that it's definitely not about that. The person I had, he was incredibly talented, and to see him grow as an individual in confidence, as well as me helping him gain confidence, give him tips for high school, and help him confide in me, not as just as a mentor, as a friend as well. And that was pretty amazing. And robotics mentoring, my boss actually put me with one of the most difficult groups because in robotics you work with a team. And he gave me a really difficult group with it, which is middle school boys. So I had to teach them about team and collaboration and how one guy can't just do everything and that takes part in being a part of the team. So I learned how to teach them collaboration, which is something I think I'll use for the rest of my life. And then my private job, which is tutoring students, that taught me a lot because I learned that it's not necessarily about teaching the content at all. With some of my students, one of my students, I tried teaching him the content over and over again, and I thought he just didn't get it, when in reality he totally understood the answer. He just didn't want to give me the right answer. So a lot of it is about problem solving and giving students the ability to go out and do these problems themselves without me there. So it's about allowing them to confide in me, becoming friends with them, and sort of guiding them where they need to go. But I'm definitely sad that I'm not going to see all my students because I see them on a daily, and they're amazing kids, and I hope they're extremely successful. But I hope to involve myself in service learning clubs in college as well. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Kai, and we wish you the best of everything at Cornell.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm going to be a sophomore at Goshen College. And 2 of the most important things that I learned my freshman year were to find a really close friend group. And so I was lucky because I found a group, but I go to a smaller college, so I think it might have been easier. But I would say get involved in clubs or sports or things like that where you can meet a lot of people. And then the other thing that I learned was how to balance academics, social life, and sleeping. Those are like the 3 things that you'll find that it's kind of hard to balance, but focusing on your academics is important. Having a full experience of college is important, so social things, clubs, meetings with people, and then of course sleeping is really important too. So those are the things that I would recommend thinking about going into your freshman year.
I'd like to introduce Rachel Young, and I'm very pleased to do so. She is one of this year's scholarship recipients. After reading her scholarship application, I was so impressed by her many accomplishments in academics, sports, and service. For all 4 years at OPRF, Rachel's classes were advanced placement or honors classes, and she was named as an Illinois State Scholar. In recommendation letters, her teachers and advisor all commented on her choosing to, and I quote, take the more difficult of the paths that were before her, and her commitment to maintaining high grades in rigorous classes while keeping up with her heavy load of outside commitments. Rachel was a member of the Women in Leadership organization, photo club, and sports medicine club while at OPRF. She also tested herself as a member of the Chicago Rowing Foundation, where she was captain of the rowing team. Next fall, Rachel will attend the University of Wisconsin at Madison and major in business. Hey, Rachel.
Hello, how are you?
I have to say that this is our first meeting, and I'm so glad to see you
so nice
in
to
person,
meet you.
sort of. Well, I have a question. My first question for you is, what led you to choose business as your major in college?
So I recently took AP Economics my senior year, and that completely changed my outlook on like how the world works. The subject matter drew me in, whether it's modeling small scale businesses, firms, supply and demand, all of the concepts, and just like the way you have to think in economics and business completely just drew me in, because before senior year I had a couple ideas of what I wanted to do, but I never really found a class that was a great fit for me. So that class was life-changing, and my teacher made it all the better. I had Mr. Potts, and he's just the best. So, and yeah, and on my own time, I like to read books about economics. One of my favorites is Freakonomics. It kind of takes the concepts of economics and compares them to quirky, kind of niche, real-life examples, like how are teachers and sumo wrestlers the same, stuff like that. And it's a great read if anybody's looking for a new book.
It sounds good. I might have to ask you to send me the title again.
Yeah, of course.
I know you're very busy, but I'm kind of interested in what do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
Yeah, so I have a couple hobbies that I like to pick up now and again. I love photography. I took all the photography classes I could at school. There are 3 levels, photo 1 and 2, which are film. They're oriented around film. So I took color film, black and white film, and I completely adored it. I met some of my best friends in that class, and it was such a great kind of stepping stone into the high school, especially with electives, and it was a great creative outlet for me. In my advanced photo collection, the summer before my sophomore year, I went to Israel to visit my family, and my whole collection was color film centered around like Israel in a sense, but it was a very color oriented collection. I still love it. It's actually hanging up in my living room now. But yeah, so that was really great. I love photography, so whether that's like taking pictures of my friends or going cool places. What else? I love running. Running is really that's a hobby. I'm not the fastest person ever, but you know, gets the job done. So,
it doesn't matter how fast you go. It's whether you enjoy the ride, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, my last question, you were on a rowing team during high school, and you also were the captain of the team. And how did you happen to choose rowing as a sport to pursue?
So summer going into my sophomore year of high school, a couple of my friends actually, on a whim, they were like, hey, I heard about this sport. It looks kind of cool. You get to go on a boat and maybe you can get some money for college, and all of those things sounded super fun to me. So I did a 3-day introduction camp downtown. Our main boathouse is located in Clark Park, right across from Lane Tech. So it was a hike to get up there those 3 days, but I soon realized that they were opening a new location that year in Hinsdale, like the Burr Ridge area, and we would be rowing on the Des Plaines River, and I thought the highway commute would have been easier than like the city commute. So every day since sophomore year, I've been driving out an hour and a half one way, an hour and a half back, right after school. I'd hustle out of school to get there, and that was the best decision I've ever made. It has taught me so many things. hard work, dedication, leadership, compassion, especially in leadership. That's a big thing that I learned, knowing how to support your teammates if they're feeling down, being a good leader, because you're in the same, most literally the same boat they're in. So it has taught me so many things, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had and the people that I've met. I've met some of my best friends there. And unfortunately, I'm not going to pursue it on a scholarship at Madison, but if I miss it enough, I might walk on the team.
Well, they have 2 lakes up there to row on, so you have plenty of water waiting for you if you decide to do it. Well, I want to thank you, Rachel, and best wishes as you begin your studies at the University of Wisconsin. And as they say up there, go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Hello, and I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. And more specifically, congratulations to our new recipients. Welcome to the 19th Century family. I have been a recipient since 2017, and I'm coming on my last year, but I cannot wait to see all the great things the new recipients and current recipients do. My name is Taylor West. I am entering my 4th year at Western Michigan University, studying social work with a minor in interdisciplinary legal studies. I just wanted to hop on the screen today to give some tips to our new recipients as they transition into college. I leave you with 3 tips. Stay informed, stay organized, and stay active. Stay informed means that you need to know every resource that the campus can offer you inside and outside of the classroom. Stay organized means using every possible planning tool to your advantage to ensure that you have a successful time at college. And then staying active, whether that mean taking a walk around campus, going to your student recreation center to work out, or getting involved on campus is crucial to your quality of education. I currently serve as the student body president, so representing all 23,000 students is a big responsibility and even more fun of a job. So I encourage all of the new recipients to get involved as soon as you touch foot on your campus, because who knows what change you can make. I leave you with that, with those tips. I can't wait to see all the great things you guys do, and I cannot wait to see all of you in person again. Thank you.
Best wishes to a great year to all of our scholars. And now I am going to bring on the video Al Parcham, who is the 19th Century Charitable Association Board President, and he's going to have some words.
I want to thank you on behalf of the 19th Century Charitable Association. I think you probably have already experienced the support and excitement we have for you and for the next part of your journey. It's a journey which many of us have taken. I began my college career in 1963 and still to this day involved in higher education as a trustee emeritus of the school that I attended. In between, I had a PhD, got a PhD, and taught college myself. But my role as a trustee emeriti is one of my favorite, because I get to go back to campus and I get to spend time with current students. I hear about their projects, their research, their travels, the offbeat courses, which they surprisingly loved. I meet them in the midst of their transformation as they travel the road, lifelong, hopefully, of becoming an educated person. Today, rightfully so, you and your parents worry about the cost of college education, about getting a career, a profession which will allow you to pay the bills. These are legitimate concerns. So what should you expect from your chosen institution of higher education? For an answer to that question, I turn to Benjamin Rogie, who's a distinguished professor of political economy at Wabash College for many, many years. Ben says, what does it mean to be truly educated, and what should a college or university of integrity promise to its students? A good college can say this: we stand ready to confront you with a good faculty and a good group of fellow students. If you work at it, and that's an important if, you will leave this place knowing more than when you entered it. End, period, stop. I can hear your parents saying, that's it? That's all my kid gets for all that money and time? But Rogie goes on to say, you will have the personal advantages of knowing over not knowing. Moreover, you will know how to go about knowing even more for the rest of your life. This is to say that you may come to carry with you through life a deep sense of wonder and awe, not of what you understand, but of the deep and mysterious processes which neither you nor anyone else fully understands. Even with this explanation, college may not seem like much, but believe me, if you work at it and participate, and if you truly study ideas different from your own and debate these ideas with professors and students with civility, you will be a lifelong contributor to your friends, colleagues, family, your country, the world. There is no greater gift a college education could give you. So, buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Thank you so much, Al. That was wonderful. Al Parcham is our board president. And I'm going to say goodbye to Al and see if anybody has any questions or comments briefly, because we're about to wrap up, for any of our 5 scholar recipients. If they pop up in the next minute, I will ask them. If not, I will move on to our closer, which is back to Janet Barkley. But I do want to just thank everybody, all of our people who submitted videos, and all of our scholars and all the committee members who spent so much time on this. We really do appreciate it. I don't see any questions or comments. You can always send them directly to Janet Barkley. I'm sure you have her email address. While I'm talking about Janet Barkley, why don't I bring her on one last time?
Thank you, Al Parcham, for sharing your experience and wisdom. You're a wonderful president. And thank you to the scholarship committee members for their genuine interest in our students. And once again, thank you to Erin Payton, our most amazing executive director. And also a thank you to Dennis Bonner, her very capable sidekick. Before we go, I believe that in these tumultuous times that we can use extra doses of inspiration. I have turned to Lin-Manuel Miranda for that inspiration, both from his unparalleled musical Hamilton and a book that he wrote entitled Good Morning, Good Night, Little Pep Talks for Me and You. Mr. Miranda speaks to me. Let's see if he speaks to you. Good morning, beautiful. Make someone happy today. I promise you it'll bounce back. Good night, beautiful. Make room for happiness tomorrow. If you make room for it, it'll show up. Good morning. Keep going. They will move the goalposts. They will upend the board when they're in check. Life will be unfair. You keep going. Good night. Keep going. They will change the rules on you. There will be chutes lurking after ladders. Life's not fair. You keep going. Good morning. I believe in you. Not always in our leaders, not always in the subway schedules, but always in you. You, unwavering. Good night. I believe in you. Not always in our institutions, not always in my own strength, but always in you. You, evergreen. Good morning. Do not get stuck in the comments section of life today. Make, do, create the things. Let others tussle it out. Good night. Don't let the world's clickbait pull you off your path. Unplug, explore, dream new terrain. The world keeps spinning. Good morning. Give a little more than you think you can today. It'll come back around somehow, I promise. That's what I've got for you. Good night. New ideas are waiting for you on the other side of sleep. Don't be afraid of going to meet them. Yeah? Yeah. Listen to Alexander Hamilton in your head in the musical saying, rise up, stand up, take your own shot, be in the room where it happens. Thank you, Mr. Miranda. I feel lighter. I hope all of you do also. Thank you again for joining us, and please do donate if you can. Bye.